Welcome in, everybody. Hope you're doing well. It's good to see so many returning faces, and we will get started as we usually do here with some nice deep breathing. So get yourself in a comfortable position and start going in through the nose, out through the mouth, and over the next couple of breaths, whenever you're ready to, let's close down those eyes and start to relax down into where you're sat. If you can, try and make your out breath longer than your in breath. That's just going to help to calm that nervous system down. And also focusing on the breathing here is going to bring that focus inwards. So we can start to block out the noise around us, start to block out the other thoughts in our mind, and just bring it into one simple process, breathing in and breathing out. So focusing on it there. And whilst you are focusing on it, notice how your body reacts to it. Notice how it reacts physically by your chest lifting as you breathe in. Notice how it feels to have the oxygen rushing around your system. And as you breathe out, notice how the shoulders relax down and you maybe curl forward slightly. And just notice how that is as you breathe in and as you breathe out. Also start to notice how you feel within yourself a little bit on the more of the mental side of things. Are you starting to feel relaxed, calm, and bringing that focus inwards? Because that's good. That's where we want to be. And we always do this at the beginning of these mindful movement sessions to essentially bring in the mindfulness part of the session. We are focusing inwards. As I already mentioned, we're blocking out the outside world, the outside noise. That's all going to be waiting for us later on. So all we need to focus on in this hour is our breathing, our movements, and the other things we'll be doing throughout the next hour. So we've got nothing else to worry about apart from the here and now. And that staying present is going to help us to get the most out of this session. So every movement is enhanced when we stay focused on it, because we are doing it mindfully. We're not just going through the motions. We're helping ourselves intentionally through each and every movement and each and every breath. Good. And last thing we do before we're going to move into some movement stuff, we are going to thank ourselves for turning up today. Often the hardest part of the session is to arrive, getting here, especially for us who are wheelchair users or have other type of mobility issues. It is a little bit trickier sometimes, even just to come to the session. So to get here is an achievement in itself, but now we're here, staying focused throughout. So give yourself a thanks and remind yourself to be focused. Keep that breathing going in through the nose, out through the mouth. But when you're ready to, you can start to open up your eyes and we can start to shrug those shoulders up as we breathe in and then relax them down as we breathe out. Going through that shoulder routine that we've been doing over the last few weeks, just to start to send blood, oxygen, all the stuff that we are breathing in through our nose is going to now be sent through the body and to the shoulders, starting to mobilize them. So shrug up as you breathe in. As you breathe out, relax down. And feel free to squeeze it as you come up as well. Nice and tight. And as you breathe out, really relax them down. Good work. Good, range of motion, excellent work. And keep that going, but instead of coming up and down with those shoulders, we're going to come back. So squeeze those shoulder blades together and then push those shoulders forwards. I'll come to the side so you can see it from there. So breathe in, bring those shoulder blades back. Breathe out, push them forwards and repeat through, nice and gentle. Good. Keep the breathing going, but let's do some shoulder rotations. Keep it just going at a nice normal pace with the breathing and just nice gentle circles round with the shoulders, starting to warm it up. And like we said, this is last week, this is all in stages. And we made that metaphor about the washing machine. You know, we could go straight into the movements, but just like a washing machine, it's always better when you do each stage. You do the bit where it all fills up. I don't know what a stage is called. And then you do your regular wash, and then it goes into the spin cycle. You know, if you just did the spin cycle at the end, it would still get washed, but not anywhere near as well as if we did all the stuff beforehand. So it's all that preparation work that we do now, all stacks on top of each other and gets the most out of this movement. Let's change direction with those shoulders and keep them moving around. And when it comes to our body, the shoulders are one of the most important areas for us who are either using a manual wheelchair, power wheelchair. If you're somebody who's just sat down more often, we tend to be using these a little bit more than most, and we rely on them a lot. So we want to make sure they're staying healthy, staying well, it's healthy. That's the main thing, just staying really good and healthy. So that's what we want from them. Good. Let's continue the rotation round, but now let's put our hands on our shoulders. And we're just going to continue around either direction, whatever feels right to you to begin with. And remember, you've got options of going both arms together, or you can alternate the arms. Or if you only can do one arm today, that's fine. Just do the one arm, but just get it going around nice and easy, nice and gentle. And starting to warm it up, which, judging by my attire and some other people's here, is needed because it's a little bit cold. Good work, getting it going round. Excellent work. Let's change the direction and keep it moving there. Nice work, everybody. Okay, let's start to open it up more by taking the arm nice and gentle in a bigger circle round and doing the best you can. Obviously, if you can do a big circle like I'm doing, that's fine. But if you can't, if you need to do it with a slightly bent arm or a smaller circle, as long as it's going around, getting that shoulder moving and nice and gentle and controlled. And what I mean by controlled specifically is that at any point you could stop and you wouldn't have any momentum. So you're not just swinging it around and hoping for the best. It's nice, easy, controlled movements all the way around. What it does mean, if you do it nice and controlled, it may be a little bit achy as you go through this because we are going through a big range of motion and the arms aren't light, so we've got to use our shoulder muscles to do so, so it can be a little bit achy in the shoulders as you do this. Good, let's change direction with that arm and go the opposite way. Well, let's switch over to the other arm and get that one going around. Nice big circles, nice and controlled. Good work, everyone. Let's change direction with that arm. So hopefully by now our shoulders are feeling a little bit warmer, a little bit looser. And we can move on to our next bit, which is going to be doing some stretching in some of those muscles that connect. We'll start with the lat. So to do this, reach over to one side, coming back down and reaching over to the other side. For this, again, we want to go nice and controlled. Maybe just pause at the top for maybe 1-2 seconds, not too long, just a little pause, feel that stretch, and then move over to the other side. Well, keeping that going for a little bit longer here. And this is also going to help to open up those shoulders. We've mentioned this previously, but those shoulder joints, because it's not just one joint in the shoulder, it's multiple joints. They are the most complicated area of the body in terms of joints, ligaments, tendons, muscles, and all that stuff. So we want to make sure we are stretching, mobilizing, warming up every part of it the best to our ability. And these lat muscles, which kind of connect from sort of midway down our spine right up into the armpit. So there's big muscles. They are connected into that shoulder. So this is the one we're stretching now. Good. Well, the next one we're going to do is stretching both our chest and our upper back. So we come back with both arms, and then we can either reach both arms forwards, or I find it easier to do one arm, and then coming back, stretching it, and then swapping over, just for balance reasons for myself. But I know some of you are more than capable of doing both arms forwards together. So as long as you're getting that rounded back, and I'll come to the side so you can see it from there, because that gives a bit of a better explanation of the stretch. So as I bring it back, I'm really trying to pull those arms back, open up that chest. You'll probably feel the stretch sort of just above the armpit area with the chest. And then as I bring one arm forwards, I'll do it on this arm actually, I'm reaching forwards and really trying to almost like pull the shoulder forwards in the socket, not just have it back and rest it there. Really stretch forwards, and that's going to help to stretch the upper back area.
Hey, Ben.
Oh, hello.
Nope, go ahead, keep going. I
Oh,
have a table in front of me, so I
yes.
too do not have balance, but I can put both arms in front on the table and round a little.
I will demonstrate on this lovely surface here for you.
Exactly. That's right.
So
Yep.
yeah, we can come back with this, and then as we come forwards, if you have the table, you can reach forwards, and you can probably even reach forwards a little bit more with that support as well. So if you do have a table, which I've found out that most people do have a table in front of them during these sessions because they put their phone or their laptop or something on that, or if they're on a regular computer, whatever it may be, there's usually a desk or a table in front of us or nearby. But for me, because I got the big camera, if I did it, this is me right up against the table, so you only get to see my chest. So not as helpful. Good work. Okay, we'll do our rotator cuffs now. If you can do both arms together, do both arms together. If you can't, just do the one. This is where we rotate it up and then rotate it down. And then you go back and forth between the two, nice and gentle. And I don't think my microphone will pick it up, but the village that I'm currently living in is very like what you would imagine on a postcard from England, like, and can currently hear the church bells ringing in the distance. So it's very much that sort of town. And soon they'll be having spring festivals here, and we have our. I don't know if you ever heard of Morris dancers, but we have Morris dancers in the village. Um, Generally, they're older men who have bells wrapped around their legs. So when they dance, they make noises, and they got sticks, and they hit the sticks together, and so they're ringing bells and knocking. It's very whimsical. That's the best way to put it. Usually dressed a bit eccentric.
That sounds cool. I wish I could see it.
Well, yeah. If you type in Morris dancers, MORRIS, into YouTube, you can watch some Morris dancers. That's our traditional dance as such. So you can watch that.
Sounds ancient.
Yeah, I think they've been doing it for a long, long time. So, all right, let's bring those arms down, give them maybe a bit of a shake out. And let's do some shoulder rotations as well, just to ease out of those stretches. It's sometimes nice just to give it some mobility. So we go one direction, and then we change to the other direction. Good. Okay, we're going to go through into our neck mobility next. So if you want a little drink before we do so, feel free. That's probably a good time to do it. Yeah, and then once we've done that, no rush there on that, let's go into our neck mobility, looking up, looking down, and going back and forth between the two. Nice work, everybody. Just nice, gentle, easy movements. Work. We're not trying to go through a really long range of motion. We're just trying to get it mobilized nice and easily back and forth between the two. But when you're ready to, let's bring the chin down to the chest. Let gravity take over a little bit here and just let it drop down. And with this, we're trying to elongate the neck at the back there, trying to get some good stretching in. This is going to help in that neck area to get things a little bit more flexible. Let's ease out of it. We go into a little bit of looking up and down again, just as we ease out of that one. And then the next time you find yourself looking up, let's hold it there. And remembering our points to make it a bit more of a stretch. First, we'll keep the mouth closed. And that's just going to help stretch it through the front of the neck. If you need a little bit more, we put the hand on the sternum. And that's exactly where my microphone is today. So you might hear some funny noises, but we pull down gently on the sternum. That's going to help to stretch that front of the neck out there. And if you want to, you can move your head slightly side to side, maybe feel a bit of a stretch more on one side than the other. And I'll let you play around with those positions of what feels good, what feels like it's more of a stretch. Okay, let's ease out of that one. We do a little bit looking up and down. Good. Let's go into our rotation next. So looking from one side over to the other, back and forth between the two. And again, as you're doing this, we're not trying to force the neck around to get maximum range of motion. We're just trying to do nice, gentle, easy movements. And that's where we get the benefit from this, is just the movement part, not necessarily how far we can get. Okay, next time you find yourself looking to the left, let's hold that position and start to feel the stretch. If you can feel it just by holding the head to the side, that's fine. Hold that position. If you need a little bit extra though, take your left arm, put it on your left hand on the right clavicle and gently pull down slightly. And you may need to adjust your hand position. I tend to find hand slightly on top of the clavicle and nearer the sternum. So that's the collarbone. So I'll come in close so you can see where I'm holding it. So I got the collarbone that runs along here. I kind of sit just on top of it and nearer the middle of my chest, and I get a bit more of a stretch there for myself. But your results may vary because we all have different points that may feel like they need more of a stretch than others. Let's ease out to it there. We'll do a couple of looking lefts and rights. And then the next time you find yourself looking to the right, let's hold it there. If you need to increase the stretch, right arm, holding the the right arm on the left collarbone and gently pulling down and sort of diagonally downwards towards the armpit area. And if there's any of these that you feel like you're not quite getting it or not quite feeling the stretch or whatever it may be, always feel free to reach out and I can help guide you extra if you need it. And that's with the same with anything as well. I'm always here to help you. I want to make sure that you can get the most out of these sessions. And there's no such thing as a wrong question. It's all about making sure you can get the right advice to help you through. Good, let's ease out of that one. A couple of looking lefts and rights. And then we go into our lateral flexion, bringing one ear to one shoulder, to the other shoulder, and back and forth between the two. Nice work. And this one, you already probably start to feel that stretch even on this gentle part of the movement. But the next time you find your left ear coming to your left shoulder, let's hold it there. And we've got three options. First option is just to hold it like so. Second option is just to drop that arm down and feel a little bit more of the stretch. Third option is to bring it behind your back, which just slightly shifts the stretch. So you'll feel it in different areas depending on where you are. I'll turn around so you can see that one as well. So left ear to left shoulder, right arm drops down or comes behind like so and reaches over towards the left side. So just play around with what works for you. Nice. Let's ease out of that. Do a couple of lefts and rights with the lateral flexion. And the next time you find your right ear on your right shoulder, let's hold it there. And again, either keep the arm on the lap, drop it down, or reach it behind you. Find what works for you. And you can always do one for a little bit and then switch over to the other. Maybe one's really intense, you can only hold it for a little bit and you might need to go to a different one or rest. Whatever it may be, just do what feels natural to you. We all know how those stretches should feel. Just find it there, hold it, don't go too far with it. And you'll start to get the benefit from it. Good work, everybody. Easing out of it, do a couple of lefts and rights. Good work. Nice. Let's go into the rest of our spine now. We'll go through some extension and some flexion. Go back and forth between the two, nice and gentle and controlled. And with this, if you can't hold on to the frame like I'm doing and pulling yourself through, then we can use the backrest. We can sit up straight, looking up towards the sky and then curling forwards. So do what you can here. But the most important thing here is that we're getting some mobility in that spine. We're not just bending over, we're curling over. And like I was told last week, curling over like a shrimp, not a prawn. And arching back like a high jumper, which you also call a high jumper. So that's fine. I don't need to convert that one. Good work. So nice, easy movements. We'll do this a little bit longer. This is such a good movement for somebody who's sat down all the time and not getting much movement in, because it takes you through such a good range of motion. And there's not many activities that we do day to day that takes us through this range of motion that the spine's designed to do, especially when we're sat down all day. So it's really good just to go through this movement here. But let's move on to the next one and go into our rotation. So we rotate round to one side, round to the other side, and back and forth between the two. Good work. And again, we're spending a little bit extra time on this one, just going back and forth. Nice, easy movements. We don't need to really pull ourselves around. We just go to where you feel some resistance and then go back round to the other side. I know some of you may be able to feel it in your spine as you're going back and forth. Some of you may not feel it. So just go to where there's some resistance, and then you can always hold it there for a second if you want to, and then go down to the other side and back and forth. as long as we're not causing ourselves any pain, or in this case, really any discomfort even. We're just trying to cause some rotation in that spine, helping us to mobilize it. Good work. Now let's go into the next one where we do the lateral flexion, reaching down to one side, reaching down to the other. And with this as well, remembering not to lean forwards as you do so or leaning back. We want to make sure we're upright and just going down to one side or the other, back and forth between the two. Good work. And the cue for this, remember, is you can imagine you've got a pane of glass in front of you, behind you, and you're sort of slipping down in between the two to one side and the other. And that just helps you to stay in line as you're doing this. Good work. Okay, let's finish off this bit of the spine movements now with some whirlpool action, going around one side or one direction, whichever way you want to go, whether that's clockwise or counter-clockwise. I got all the lingo. You're gonna have to teach me some more now. I've got all those ones sorted. And let's change direction, going the opposite way. Good work. Let's give that a nice little shake off there. And let's have a nice little hydration break before we move into the next bit, which we're going to be doing some of our yoga movements. We've got a fair bit of time here, so we are, well, I moved through those last little bits a bit quicker. So, or the earlier bits with the rotations and that in our shoulders. So we're going to go into some yoga movement. And don't worry if you're still grabbing your drink. I can see some people have off screen. I'm going to explain what we're going to be doing. And essentially here with this, we're going to start nice and small and we're going to build on it and move through more range of motion essentially on it and have like a sequence of movements. But we've done this before and I will be guiding you again through it. So first of all, we're going to start off nice and simple and we're going to start palms together and we're going to reach up towards the sky and we're going to come out and around and then back to the beginning. So just going up, rounds and out. Good movement. Okay, as we're doing this, as you bring those arms up, try and keep those elbows as close together as you can, for as long as you can as you reach up. And then when it's ready to open it up the best you can, and then going round. And that's just going to help those shoulders go in a really full range of motion. Good. Well, it looks like you've all got that there. As I said, we've done this before, so it's just getting through that good range of motion. Really good work so far, especially with those elbows together coming up and through. Excellent work. Good. Okay, let's start to add in our drop down now. So our starting position will be here, reaching to the floor. Then we come up with a flat back up to halfway, and then back down again. Then coming up with a curled back, nice and slowly, nice and controlled. Palms together, reach up, out, around, and then back down to the starting position. So reaching all the way down, and then coming up with that flat back. Back down again, up with the curled back, stacking those vertebrae on top of each other. When you're at the top of the movement, palms together, reaching up, out, and around, and back down. I'm going to continue to talk the way through this, but if you want to get your own pace, feel free to. Up with the flat back, back down, curling up, stacking those vertebrae, palms together, reaching up, out, and around, and all the way back down to the beginning again. Up with the flat back, back down, curling up, palms together, reaching up, out, and around, and all the way down again. Up with the flat back, back down, curling up. Arms together, reaching up, out, and around. And let's do one more here. So reaching all the way down, up with the flat back, back down, curling up. Palms together, reach up, out, and around. Good. Okay, so we're going to continue that. But as we come up, out, and around, when we get to this position, so our arms are parallel to the floor, we're going to rotate to the left. Then we'll rotate to the right. And then we're going to come back down to the middle again. So back to the side position. Let's do it all together to begin with. And then when you feel comfortable too, you can go at your own pace. Let's come up with the flat back first of all. Back down. Curling up this time, stacking those vertebrae on top of each other. Palms together, reaching up, out, and pausing when we're parallel. Rotate to the left. You'll probably feel a stretch in your shoulder and chest. Rotate to the right. And again, coming back to the middle, and then all the way back down to the beginning. So a nice easy step to add on here. Let's go again. Up with the flat back. Back down. Curling up on this next one. Nice, slow, easy movements. Palms together, reaching up, out, and around, and rotating to the left. Good. Rotating to the right. Nice. Coming back to the middle. Going all the way down to the beginning again. Let's do two more like that now. So coming up with the flat back. Back down. Curling up. Palms together, reaching up. Out. Pause at the parallel. Rotate to the left. Rotate to the right. Coming back to the middle, and one more of this. Coming up with the flat back, back down, curling up. Palms together, reaching up, out, and pausing at parallel. Rotate to the left, rotate to the right, and bring it into the center whilst I explain the next bit. So when we come out and around, then we're going to rotate to the left. We're going to seesaw. We'll drop the left arm down, the right arm comes up. And then we'll come back down to parallel. Then we'll go over to the other side and we'll seesaw. So we drop the right arm down, the left arm up, and then back, around, and then back to the beginning again. And I'll guide you through this, so don't worry if you're getting confused on it. We're going to start down at the bottom in our starting position. So reach towards the floor and coming up with that flat back first of all. Back down again. Let's curl up on this one. Nice, slow, easy movements. Palms together, reaching up, out, and pausing at the parallel. Rotate to the left. Now drop the left arm down, right arm comes up, and then seesaws back again to that parallel position. Rotate all the way around to the other side. And then, so your right arm's at the back now. Right arm drops down, left arm comes up. And then the left arm comes back down, right arm comes back up to the parallel position. Rotate around to the middle, and then back down to the starting position again. Let's go again here. Up with the flat back. Back down. Curling up. Palms together, reaching up. Out. To parallel. Rotating to the left. Left arm drops down, right arm comes up. And then seesaws back again. Rotates around to the other side. Right arm drops down, left arm comes up. And back to the middle. Rotating round. And let's do one more like that again. So reaching all the way down to the floor. Then coming up with the flat back. Back down again. Curling up this time. Nice, slow, easy movements. Palms together. Reaching up. Out. And pausing at the parallel. Going to the left. Left arm drops down, right arm comes up. Seesaws back again to the parallel. Let's rotate round to the other side. Right arm drops down, left arm comes up. And rotating back again, round to the start position. Good work. Okay. Let's add in our final little bit here. So as we go round to the left, we'll do our seesaw. But then when we come back, instead of rotating around to the other side, we're going to come, so our right arm comes onto our lap, left arm points towards the sky, and then we're going to thread that needle through the gap we've created under armpit on there, and over to that side. I'm going to do that one more time, just that last little bit of it, just to demonstrate. So when we come, we've seesawed up, and we seesawed down, the right arm's on the lap there, the left arm's pointing towards the sky, and it's coming down and coming through this gap here that I've created where my hand's coming through. Good. All right. That out of the way. We do one side all the way through, and then on the next one, we come on to the other side. So we just do the left side all the way through, and then just do the right side. But that'll become clear as we go into it. Good. Let's go right the way down to the starting position first of all, and then coming up with the flat back. Back down. Curling up this second time, stacking those vertebrae, palms together, reaching up, out, and pausing at the parallel. Let's rotate round to the left. Left arm drops down, right arm comes up. Good work. Then seesaw back again, but this time the right arm comes onto the lap. Left arm goes right the way up, pointing towards the sky, and then it comes down, threads the needle through that gap we've created. Good work, everybody, and points over to the other side. Let's pull it out of there now, and then back down to the starting position, and we go on to the other side on the next one. So coming up with a flat back, back down, curling up. Nice, slow, easy movements. Palms together, reaching up, out, and pausing at parallel. Rotate to the right this time. And then once you're there, right arm drops down, left arm comes up. And then seesaw back against the left arm comes onto your lap. Right arm points up towards the sky. And then it comes down, threads the needle through the gap you created, pointing to the other side. Good, let's ease out of it there. And let's do one more on each side here. So right the way back down to the beginning, coming up with a flat back. Back down, this time curling up, stacking those vertebrae, Good movements, everybody. Palms together, reaching up, out, and pausing it parallel, rotating to the left. Left arm drops down, right arm comes up, seesaw right the way to the top, and then all the way back the other way, so the right arm comes down to the lap, left arm points right the way up as high as you can to the sky, and then drops down, threads the needle through the gap you created, and out the other side. Good. Ease out of that one. One more now on the right side, all the way down to the bottom. Up with the flat back. And back down again. This time curling up a little bit by bit by bit. Palms together, reaching up. Keep those elbows close still. Up, out, and to parallel. Rotate to the right. Right arm drops down, left arm comes up. And then seesaws back again. Left arm on the lap, right arm points towards the sky. And then comes down, threads the needle through the gap here. And eases out of it. Good. I just want to do a couple more of the threading the needle on each side. So let's put our right arm on our lap. We'll point up to the sky. And then let's just come down and through. And then back out again. So I just want you to go between this position and this position, and just going back and forth between the two, nice and gentle and controlled, and just nice and easy with the movements here. But just getting a few more in this, just so this is such a good exercise to go through a really good range of motion, especially at this point now. We've gone through quite a bit of warm up in the spine and the movements we've been doing with this yoga-like movements. So when it's nice and warm and pliable, we can get through those range of motion just a little bit easier, and we get a lot from this, just this little exercise here. And I just like to add it into the end because when we're doing the full routine, we only did 4 then, so I just want to get some more of this movement in. Okay, let's switch over to the other side. Excellent, keeping it moving. Let's do 2 more here. And it's out of it. Good work, everybody. And if you want to have another drink before we go into our meditation part of the session, feel free to do so. We're going to split this meditation into 2 parts. The first one, we're going to do our box breathing to help us to relax down a little bit. And then we will go on to some more traditional type of meditation after that. So once you've had your drink, get some breathing going in through the nose, out through the mouth. First of all, settle that down where you are, closing down the eyes. And I'll explain what we're going to be doing here on the box breathing first of all. So the box breathing is where we breathe in for 4 seconds. We hold the breath in for 4 seconds. We breathe out for 4 seconds and hold it out for 4 seconds. That's 4, 4, 4, 4. So 4 sides of a square. You can imagine that in your mind as we're doing this. And we'll all do it together and I'll be counting for you. So all you have to do is follow along. So first of all, let's breathe out. And when you're ready to, let's start breathing in. 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath in now. 2, 3, 4. Breathe out. 2, 3, 4. Hold that breath out now. 2, 3, 4. Now breathe in. 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath in. 2, 3, 4. Breathe out. 2, 3, 4. Hold it out. 2, 3, 4. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4. Hold it in. 2, 3, 4. Breathe out. 2, 3, 4. Hold it out. 2, 3, 4. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4. Hold it in. 2, 3, 4. Breathe out. 2, 3, 4. Hold it out. 2, 3, 4. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4. Hold it in. 2, 3, 4. Breathe out. 2, 3, 4. And return your breathing to normal now when you're ready to. And keeping it going there. Nice and relaxed. Breathing in through your nose, breathing out through your mouth. And just relaxing down where you are. Good. Let's go into our senses meditation today, and let's go for a bit of a beach walk. So how we're going to picture this again is I'm going to help to essentially guide you with your visual meditation here. So as we go through this scene, you're going to be opening up your mind's eye. We're going to be focusing on all the different senses, and hopefully to give you a bit of a better picture in your mind of this beach scene. That's going to help relax down that heart rate, calm down the nervous system, and to put us into a very relaxed state, which is a great way to be at the end of the session because it transitions us nicely into the rest of our day. So let's start to focus, first of all, just relaxing where we are. And as you start to relax, let's start to open up that mind's eye and picture a beach scene. It may be a beach you've been to before. It may be a beach you've seen in videos or pictures, or it may be a completely made up one, wherever it may be. And we're just going to start to build that scene, imagining the sand, imagining the sea, the sky, if there's any beach walk or if there's trees or whatever it may be. Picturing how the sky is. Is it middle of the day? Is it the morning sun, the setting sun with the orange sky? Whatever it may be, start to picture that there. Start to get an image of how it looks. Is there clouds in the sky? Is there other people there? Maybe there's shells on the beach. Maybe it's a pebble beach even. Whatever it may be, just start to picture it in your mind. Start to get a clearer image. Notice the colors. Notice how the light reflects off different surfaces. Notice how things start to move, the waves move, the trees move if you've got trees, the people around you. Really just build up that scene as visual as you can. The more visual you can make it, the better. But don't worry if it's not quite there or not quite to your imagination. Just do the best you can with just trying to get as much detail in your scene as possible. Let's start to open up our next sense now. So keeping that visual there, let's start to open up the sound. So imagine what it sounds like, the waves slowly crashing onto the beach. Maybe the sounds of birds chirping or people talking in the distance, the wind rustling through the trees. However it feels, just paint that picture in your mind with both the visual and the sound together. That's just going to bring an extra layer here, making it more impactful for what we need it for. Now let's bring in the next one and get a sense of smell. What's the beach going to smell like? Is it going to smell like this ocean? Is it going to smell like that salty water smell? Maybe it's the smell of ice cream because that might be something you got in your hand at the beach. Whatever it may be, just start to picture it in your mind. Start to get an idea of what those smells are along with the visual, along with the audio. And just really build up that scene with more detail each and every time. Good. Let's start to introduce our next sense, which is touch. So whether you're sat down in your scene, whether you're stood up, doesn't matter. Start to feel either the stones or the pebbles, whatever the beach is, through your fingers. So maybe you want to imagine you're scooping up some sand or holding a pebble or even a shell in your hand. Maybe if you want to put your hand in the water and see how that feels. Just imagine in as much detail as you can how that would feel to either have the sand, the stone, the shells, the sea through your fingers and just adding to the scene. And again, still imagine that you are visualizing it. Still imagine the audio coming in, the smells coming in, now the touch as well. We're using 4 senses here to really help us to elevate this scene and get much more from it than just thinking about it by itself. Good. So keep those senses open for a little bit longer. And now let's start to close them down. So start to close the touch down, the smells down. Start to not think about the audio, and let's start to close the visual down and bring it back into ourselves here. And notice in this moment how you feel. I always feel like after doing one of these sessions, I'm so much more relaxed than I ever thought was possible in that moment. And that's why we do this. It really helps to lower that heart rate, lower the nervous system, calm ourselves down. It's a really great tool no matter where you are in your day. If you need a moment to calm down, take yourself back to this scene, imagining those things, what you need to, and that's going to really help you in the moment and in the long run as well to reduce stress. So whenever you're ready to, let's do some maybe 2 or 3 deeper breaths. And as you breathe out, we can start to open up your eyes. And I'm pointed that way. I thought it was pointed that way for a second. There we go. Must have moved as we were there. And we can start to come out of that session. Excellent work today, everybody. Really good movement.